Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us today. The purpose today is to explain to you why what you're already thinking is the right thought. You're only here because you think that doing something that helps you with your career, that moves you along, is the right thing to do. And we all agree. We have a star-studded team here today with Mandy and Deetha and Rebecca and Connie behind the scene doing the slides. And we have Carla here, a student who is doing currently the MBA. Massey in New Zealand is the home of the largest suite of MBA products, whether we are online, face-to-face, executive, regular MBA, international, domestic. We have a stream for everyone. And what makes us different from every other school is that we have a group of people who are only there to make sure that you succeed. Many of you would not have been at a university for a while. Universities are not necessarily the most welcoming institutions. We've got bureaucracy for Africa, and it is certainly something that scares some people off. In this case, we have a group of people who have nothing else to do every day but to make sure that you work well through that program, you succeed, and that this online mode that we're offering you works for you. On that happy note, I will turn it over to Mandy to start us out.
Kia ora everyone, welcome. As Jens has said, we're very pleased that you're here tonight with us. You can see here that flexibility is something that we're really keen on. And as Jens said, we have the best suite of MBA programs that you can get in the country. The learning is really practical. All of our programs are the same, and it is more like being at work than at school. The networking is absolutely brilliant, and then we are globally recognised so that you can have confidence in what you're learning from us. And so you are looking to improve your career or to increase your knowledge, and we can certainly help you with that. We're going to partner with you as you go through this journey, right from when you inquire to graduation. We all love being at graduation and seeing you cross the stage. So, you know, when you get to the pointy end of your study, we're going to be right there with you, encouraging you to finish. Massey is a really well-established, has a well-established reputation for academic leadership, of research excellence and innovative teaching. So you know that you're going to get something really good from us. So the reason you're here is to try and work out whether an MBA is actually the right thing for moving your career forward. We are hoping to move you from management and into leadership. We're going to connect you with lots of different people. You've seen from the documents that we've just filled in there that there are people all over the country and from all kinds of industries, and you will have deep connections with those people by the time you've finished. And we've got great people teaching you, and we also have some amazing guest speakers to come in. One of the things that the MBA program does do is it focuses on impact, and some of the impact areas are around sound business practices, leading yourself and leading others, critical thinking, functional knowledge and strategic management skills, cross-cultural understanding, and also we want to enhance your career, obviously, and we want to give you this amazing lifelong passion for learning, because in this environment we need to keep upskilling all the time. So if we can enthuse you with that passion, that's also really helpful. There's going to be a really positive impact for you personally, and there's going to be a positive impact on the organisation that you work with as you progress through it. We're going to supply you with this amazing toolkit, and our alumni tell us that they continue to use that toolkit 20, 30, 40 years after they've finished. They like to upgrade it, but those basics are all there, and that's really important. So we're going to open your eyes to all kinds of possibilities. You might come in thinking that you want to do or achieve one thing, and by the time you've finished, you're going to realise that maybe there's another passion there for you, or you might continue on the path that you were choosing. Okay, on the next slide, we talk about the 5 C's. There are 5 C's for our MBA programs that we think are really important. Capability is just being able to know more. Capacity is just being able to do more. The confidence to go out and try new things. And then the connections. It's actually being able to relate better to people and to connect better to people and to use those connections to your benefit. And then, of course, there's just the courage, just having the courage to become more successful, to actually step out of your comfort zone and do those things which are going to improve your career really well. And whether you want to try something new or progress your career to a higher level, we're going to give you the toolkit to be able to do that. With accreditation, which is the next thing we're going to look at, This is all about being globally recognised so that you can have confidence in what we provide to you, and it's a quality stamp. AACSB is an American elite school accreditation, and AMBA is the Association of MBA, so that's worldwide. AACSB ranks Massey Business School in the top 5% of business schools in the world due to our accreditation and the longevity of that accreditation. On the next slide, we talk about rankings. For some people, rankings are really important. So that also shows you that we draw out the teaching staff from some really great Massey Business School units, communications in the top 100, accounting finance in the top 200, and then business management in the top 300 in the world. And there are thousands and thousands of universities. So you know that we're actually drawing people who are really talented. CEO magazine also have a ranking, and we're tier 1, and the MBA online is number 17 in the world. And for Shanghai, we're ranked number 1 in New Zealand. With QS rankings, they rank us in the top 3% of universities in the world based on that ranking. So you can see there that we really are in that really high level. Okay, on the next one, we're just going to have a talk about the programs that we do offer, just so that you're clear about what we offer. The MBA is taught in 2 modes. One is online and one is full-time. Same program, just taught in different modes. We are going to concentrate today on the MBA online. And if you look across each of the lines, it gives you the differences between each of them. The MBA online is fully online. You never have to come into Massey if you don't want to. You do have the option of coming in, obviously, to use our libraries, but even all those things are all online. Full-time, they're classes. You come in every week for a class. And then for the EMBA, you come in every 6th weekend. So you can see, if you just walk through those and have a look, you can see those differences there. And just while you're doing that, I'll just briefly talk about each of the programs. So the MBA is really flexible, it's interactive, it has specialisations, and you'll have classmates from all over the world, not just in New Zealand, but you'll be exposed to all kinds of business knowledge from around the world. The online is taught on an award-winning platform from Wiley, and it's world-class. They are not recorded classes. So they are especially designed for you to learn an interactive platform online, and the material's available 24/7. So when you've got that 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, you can actually get onto your phone, your laptop or your computer and start working on things. And the content is especially designed for online teaching. So we're not just trying to push the full-time material onto you. We've actually designed it especially for you. It's really interesting and engaging, and it can be quite fun. So it's really good for you. You know, it's interesting platform to use. The full-time is really immersive. It's really full-time means full-time, full on. It's concentrated learning. It's taught in Albany and Auckland, and you come to campus on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and you do 2 courses at a time, whereas the online's only 1 at a time. Each of those courses in the MBA are only 7 weeks long, so we don't work to the long semester system. So it's really short and sharp and easy to actually progress through. The Executive MBA is a longer program. It's 2 years, but the teaching is 15 months plus a consultancy project. It's face-to-face. It's really dynamic. It's engaging. It's challenging. And the classmates are from all over New Zealand, and there's a focus on leadership and strategy, and you can see there at the bottom. But there are some information sessions that are coming up later in October and November, and again we'll have that information at the end of the session. So if you'd like to join some information sessions about looking about the differences and similarities of both, or about the MBA, you can join those. But as I said, we're going to concentrate on the online MBA tonight, the great program that we have that has huge flexibility.
Thank you, Mandy, and thank you for that lovely summary of the suite of programs that we offer. But like Mandy said, we're going to focus on the MBA online today. So let me talk to you a little bit about why this program might be right for you. Now, if you are an emerging or mid-level manager, then the MBA is right for you. But if you're also someone who's running your own business, then again, you will learn skills and knowledge in the MBA that will help you run that business successfully. And in addition to that, something that you will hear us say multiple times this evening is that the MBA is also flexible. So that really allows you to accommodate study into your work and your family and your busy schedule already. So it really allows you to be a senior leader, for example, looking for flexible options, learning options. And what the MBA really does is that it allows you to network, to gain the knowledge, and to really take that next step in your career. Now, it can be a next step up. It can be a next step in a different field. We've got students who've actually experienced different journeys as they're going. And that really happens because the MBA allows you to really network and really get that generalist information, giving you the confidence that you need to put yourself out there and really get that dream job that you're after. And that's where the MBA really comes into play. And like we say, you can be anything you want and do anything you want with the MBA, again, because of the knowledge that you gain. So something that we like to constantly tell our students is success comes from innovative learning. And that's really how we have designed and we deliver the MBA to you. Now, on the next slide, let me be a little more specific about the skills that you learn through the MBA program. Now, the MBA program is equipped to allow you to really get into that strategic thinking mode, allowing you to make decisions, allowing you to lead with integrity, and also because of the amount of self-reflection you do and the amount of analysis you do on different various market problems, business problems, case studies, and different topics in a particular course, you are then also you kind of learn to analyze problems and how you can solve them. Again, because of the applied nature, you get that confidence to be able to actually go in and apply this learning almost immediately. We are constantly trying to be innovative in the way that we transfer knowledge to you and that you can gain knowledge from our learning platforms, making you, again, technologically savvy. And then, of course, the diversity that you see in the class from your lecturers, from the subject matter experts, from your peers in class, there's diversity, there's this cultural competence as well that you learn, and you kind of learn to incorporate that into your everyday working life. So that's really the 5 key MBA competencies that we have and that what we've kept in mind while we're designing the program for you. Now, while we're talking about who's going to be in class, let me go to the next slide and just dive a little deeper into that. So who's going to be in class with you? So you've got about 20 to 35 students, and that's a typical online MBA class. Almost equal split gender, women and men. So that really gives you, again, that opportunity to discuss and look at different perspectives. We've got an average age of about 37 years, but that ranges from 25 and goes up to 56, 57 years. We've got an average work experience of 11 years. Again, that ranges from the minimum requirement of 3 and it goes up to about 23, 24 years of work experience. And the diversity. I think Mandy said this as well, that you do find diversity in the class. Diversity not only from locations that people have come from, but also diversity in backgrounds, knowledge, education. So really enriching those discussions in classroom for you. Now, before we move on, just to reiterate, we've got 2 modes of the MBA program. We've got the part-time online mode that we're focusing on this evening, and you can complete that somewhere between 18 to 24 months. But you've got the flexibility to take up to 5 years to complete that. So again, lots of flexibility offered with this mode. And of course, you've got the full-time mode that can be done in person and can be completed in 1 year from start to finish. But just before we move on, there's some really interesting stats that we've got on this slide, something that we are extremely proud of, and that's really the return on investment that our students get. So this year, we've actually had 3 cohorts already graduate. So we've been able to collect data from them. And this is where that data is coming from. We've got 62% of our students have improved their roles while studying with us. So while they're still doing the MBA, they have been able to really sell those skills and improve their roles while studying. We've got 23% who moved into senior management roles and 46% into managerial roles. So people who are just taking the next step, gaining that confidence to go up in their careers. And of course, we've got 20% who started or have expanded their own business again while studying with us. So like we said, that you can really incorporate that knowledge almost immediately into your work. And these numbers are showing us exactly that. Now, again, with the Hayes salary guide that Mandy was talking about, and with this data that we have here, we see that our students get an ROI almost within 1 year, or within about 18 months of starting their MBA. So they get a return on investment in terms of the fees that they have paid within 18 months of starting their MBA. So again, really impressive stats, and we're so proud of our graduates and our current students as well. So we're going to move on now and just talk a little bit about the courses that you're going to do as part of the program. Now, I'm not going to go into, not going to talk about this too much, but I just want to give you an idea of the topics that you're going to be studying on the MBA. Really gives you that all-round understanding of a business, and that really comes in with the 6 core courses. And of course, we're the only MBA in New Zealand that offers you specialization options. You then move into part 2 of the program. And that's really where you get an opportunity to get your hands dirty, because you really go into that applied practical learning zone. This is where you get to learn from subject matter experts, from markets, from business problems, and really go and work with an organization, identify a business problem, and then actually pull from your 8 courses that you've done at the MBA and then give them some recommendations. So some of our students have actually gone on to get projects for a longer period from these particular connections that they have with the organization for their action learning project that comes up right at the end. We're just going to go on to the next slide now. Thank you. And now we're going to talk about how these courses are delivered to you. So we've got an excellent interactive online learning platform. So it's not just you reading, but you also get an opportunity to learn while watching videos, interactive content. So really different ways for you to pull that knowledge from what's available to you. And like I said, this program, the online MBA, is designed around you as a student working full-time. Gives you that opportunity to pull back into your work almost immediately, and to take back from your work into your study as well. So you're constantly looking at real world business problems at real time and looking at solutions as well. We've got small tutorials giving you the opportunity to be heard and for you to hear from your peers, again giving you that all-round learning. So you get an opportunity to learn from your peers, from your academics or your academics, and from subject matter experts. So again, all-round learning that you get on the MBA. And all of these sessions are outside of working hours, so allowing you to complete your work and then come in to study at the end of the day. So that really gives you, again, flexibility that you get through the MBA online. We've got 3 intakes a year. And of course, the November one is coming up. So we would really like to see your applications coming in for the November intake that's going to start right at the beginning of November. Okay, so now let's talk about the investment that you're going to make in your future. Now, as a domestic student who is currently in New Zealand, the MBA online program is $44,200, and that's the full program fees for all 10 courses in 2022. And in 2023, so if you start March next year, then your fees is $45,000 for an onshore student and $39,200 for an offshore student. Now, as an international student, again, the MBA is available to you wherever you are. So as an international student, the fees is $47,300 while you are studying outside of New Zealand, and $48,300 for 2023 while you are living outside of New Zealand and studying with us. Of course, this is inclusive of all of your learning materials. So you don't need any ebooks, you don't need to buy any textbooks. This is all provided to you by us. And it's approximately about $200 of non-tuition fees that you would need to calculate over those fees for your full program fees for the full program. Now, of course, we also invest in you. So that comes in. And on the next slide, we're going to talk to you about the awards that we offer you. So with the MBA, you have 3 awards that we assess automatically at the time of your application. They are of $2,000 each. And you've got the criteria there. Now, this is also accumulative, which means you can get up to $6,000 adjusted against your fees. So we've got one of our current students here, Carla, who's been kind enough to donate her time this evening to come and talk to you about her journey. Carla started with us on the online MBA in March this year, and she's almost at the end of her first core courses. So it's really an exciting, we're excited to hear your journey so far, Carla. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. So yes, I'm Carla. I'm originally from South Africa. I'm living in Auckland at the moment, and very similar stories to so many of you guys. I work full time. I'm a mom, and in the evenings, this is what I do. So I complete a full day of work, come home, cook dinner like everybody else, and then the studying starts. So my reason for joining has been, like so many others of you guys, is to progress in my career. And to forward myself and to better myself. I'm currently in the waste industry, and my company is fully on board. They're supporting me. Unfortunately, no study time. I should have better negotiated that one. But what we do in the beginning of the course, we start with leadership and teamwork, and we are divided into groups. We've been very lucky to have stayed with that group. So I'm in my fourth one now, and we're still in the same group, believe it or not. And you can change, by the way, and that's where that flexibility comes from as well. And it was super diverse. There's 5 members in our small team, and all of us are from all over the world doing completely different things. And we really, really feed off each other. And even during our assessments, we call each other, and we really, really rely on each other to help and to be very diverse in our networking and help each other. Just one thing is that when you look at those times that they're giving you, it is a lot of work. To not be fooled in thinking that you're going to breeze through this. This is a full-on master's degree. It comes with a lot of work, and be prepared for that. So when you look at those times that they prescribe and look how long it's going to take you, it's quite real. You need to be able to know that you've got to have that time available. So it's quite a bit of work. And it gets difficult. Some of them are a little bit easier, depending on your background. For me, finance was quite challenging. I had to look at those whiteboard videos a couple of times. Thank you very much, Jens. It was quite helpful. And I'll make it, but it was quite difficult. And then just quickly, that self-reflection that Ditha was talking about, it's really, really changed how I look at things. So much that we do on a daily basis. The studies that you do and analysis of those case studies is really practical. It's already things that I have been able to take and apply in my daily work. And I've been able to approach our senior leadership team with new ideas and new issues that I've brought to the table. And it gives you that ability to speak from a position of strength that has already helped me. So quite a bit has changed in my life already. It's only been 6 months, but thoroughly enjoying it as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carla. So if you've got any questions for Carla, please pop them in the chat box and we will ask her to answer them. But Carla, just before we go into that, can you talk to us a little bit about your time management? So I know you've got family and work and so a social life as well. So how do you manage your time with the MBA?
So for me at the moment, what I do is no more fishing. I love fishing. No more fishing at the moment. So for me, daily, what I do is, so the new course, which is marketing, we started last week. I would then do 2 or 3 hours in the evening, every evening, and you have to be consistent with that. If you don't, you're going to get lost. So you have to be consistent in your effort.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carla. Another question that we've had is really the importance of your background. So, education background or work background. Does that really come into play with every course? Is it something you can constantly touch upon when you are trying to complete an assessment, for example?
Absolutely. So I have a marketing background. My studies was in marketing. I'm in the sales department, and I've always had a strong sales background. So yes, very definitely it does. It does come into play. I've got over 20 years of work experience, and even with all of that, I'm still benefiting so much from the MBA at the moment. So definitely, you need that background. Working is having that experience. Again, when you have those assessments, it's in confidence, but you take the issues that you have at work and you really apply it, and you can actually find solutions for real-time problems that you have at work. And it's very quickly how you see things differently very, very quickly after that. You analyze things, you pull them apart, and you put them back together again. And that is an amazing tool to have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carla. We really appreciate you giving us your time this evening. But for now, we're just going to move on. We've got our academic here this evening as well, Professor Jens Mueller. Thank you so much for being here this evening, Jens. Over to you.
Oh, thank you, Deetha, and thanks all for the patience to be here. It's been a lot of information that's been thrown at you. And if there were 3 key thoughts that go through your mind, it's probably, do I really need to do this? Can I succeed if I start? And why Massey? And the first one of, do you really have to do that? The answer is no, you don't really have to do that. You can stay pretty much where you are. Organically, your wages will probably go up. You will probably find a role in the future. But what really ticks you off is when you see a promotion opportunity or a new job that you are perfectly qualified for with your experience, and then somebody with a lot less work experience rushes by you, gets that job because they have the degree. And the degree that you never have to explain when you interview is the MBA. Everybody knows it is universal. It applies to all sectors, all industries, applies to big firms, small firms. It's been around for nearly 100 years. We've done that for 70 some years. So it is a very generic qualification intended to make you flexible when you look for a job. And it's not a good feeling when you sit in your chair and you think you should have had the big office next door, but somebody else gets it who's less qualified, you think, than you, because they have the MBA. And look for a moment at your parents, my parents, who could probably have gone all their life with high school or even not high school and done really well. Today, you can't do that. High school means you can function. Undergraduate degree is nice to have, but for leadership roles, people who hire leaders, senior managers, don't want to be wrong. And they don't want to make a mistake. And they don't want to hire someone that doesn't have a master's qualification, because later on somebody will say, how could you have done that? And people don't want to expose themselves on your behalf. So you have to put this under your belt. No one can ever take this away from you. This is something that boosts you for the rest of your life. The second part is, will you be able to do this? And Carla was quite honest, I think, in terms of the number of hours that it takes. You have to kind of reorganize your day during the week, when the kids get time, when the partner gets time, when you feed the horses, when you go sleigh riding. All of this stuff kind of has to get organized. About a year and a half, you have to live a slightly different schedule. You have another partner in your head, the MBA, that needs to get time, and you need to sort that out. I've done this for nearly 40 years, and I can, on 2 hands, count the number of students who did not make it for academic reasons. Some people get transferred to a different country. Some people have personal issues. That's a different thing. But when we take you in, when the group of 5 people here works with you, then we wrap ourselves around you and make sure that you finish. You will have to work harder on failing than on passing. And we have support for everything. We have a learning support system that is absolutely stunning, available to you online. If you need support for writing things, for finding literature, for understanding how to work and learn, all of that stuff's available to you. And the last one is why Massey. And our trademark, our complete difference is that while we are highly accredited, have researchers everywhere, this is not like a class. You are treated as if you're sitting with your CEO in a boardroom learning something about work. It is managers and CEO, not students and professor. No one will ever sit there and read their PowerPoint slides off to you and whack you with 4,000 citations and then walk off and hope you remember that. We don't do that. The people who we hire into these roles of teaching you all have professional experience. Quite a few are not even academics. They're practitioners. They do well, and they make sure that when you come to Massey, it is doable, practical. It moves you along immediately. Next day, Monday morning, 8 o'clock, you do something different at work. You participate in different discussions at work. where before you were wallpaper, invisible, and you hung out at the back because you didn't really want to expose yourself. Suddenly you participate, you chime up, you bring in new terms, you suggest you do something different, and people turn around and go like, where's that come from? You get noticed. And remember that if you're a secret, you can never get promoted because nobody sees you. So you have to make sure you're known for your contribution, for your value, and we help you with that. On that happy note, I will move over to Mandy.
Excellent. Right. So Jens did mention the fantastic support that we have. So you can see here some of the special things that we do have for you. The university and the MBA office offers something. So I'm just going to talk very briefly about each of them. One of the things if you're worried about the journey and how you're going to cope, don't. And I say that with all honesty, because if you put your hand up, we are going to help you. And one of the ways we're going to help you, the Centre of Learning Success is an amazing group of people based here at Massey. And one of the things that they offer you is they have a pre-reading service. So you can pop that assessment into them. They will critique it for you. They'll be very honest, and they'll come back and tell you what you have done or haven't done. And then you have the opportunity of making that change before you submit it for a grade. And you get to do that 3 times in each semester. The Career Accelerator is on the MBA side, and we want you to do better. We want you to get that new role. We want you to be successful in your career. So we're going to give you some opportunities to attend some workshops, usually virtually. And they're going to be things like personal branding. They're going to be upskilling you for executive interviews and your online presence. Lots of people forget as they are going through their study to actually start upgrading those things. People, as they will see you differently, but you actually need to have that online presence updated as well. We started the mental gym last night for this year, the intakes that are about to start. And the mental gym is a try before you buy opportunity. So you can come along and join us. It's available to MBA and EMBA applicants. We have sessions like the power of data and empowering talent. And we cover courses such as law and global business. And we also do wonderful things like getting you ready for study and scholarship events. Right, on the next slide is, what are you going to do about it now? So that picture, they are MBA graduates. That could be you. So if you want to take that journey with us, then you should go online. It's an online program, so you can apply online. But if you have any questions at all the information about how you contact us will be in the information that we give you. If you don't have a degree, don't despair. Come talk to us, because there are pathways for you. So if you have great work experience but you don't have a degree, then come talk to us. We'll be able to help you with that.
Thank you, Mandy. So yes, this is the time to use the chat box, ask us your questions, and we're all here to answer them. I'm just going to get the ball rolling with some of the questions that we have had in the past. And I think my first one goes to Jens. Jens, would you be able to talk to us a little bit about the assessments that we have and maybe give us an example of one or two?
I would love that. Assessments are usually things where people get a little anxious and the blood pressure rises and there's a little sweaty palms. And is this really something I can do? Look, at Massey, the assessments are pretty much like what managers would ask you to do at work. Research a company, tell me what we should do. Look at our financials. Are we doing the right thing? Is there a different way to make our people more engaged at work? You do things that are usually no more than 3 per course that are practically relevant. One will be a group session. And look, this is good. A group assessment is helpful because if you know nothing about money and finance, there's going to be somebody who will bail you out. And the next time you know more than they do and you bail them out. So group assessments are usually quite comfortable for people. And of course, you also learn about teamwork, how to work in a group. Then there's usually one assessment that's individual, where you do some research, look at what's happening outside. And then there's one quite often that lets you reflect on what you learned so that we embed that. So no more than 3 assessments, no exams in this program. We will never wait till the end of a course or so and send you into a room with a pencil for 2 hours and sweat you. We don't do that. These are all assessments, no exams. And we rarely have people who have real trouble with that. If you kind of have trouble early on, we'll send you help. We'll help you ourselves. We will make sure the lecturer has extra time for you, but things usually come right quite quickly. Assessments shouldn't be a concern.
Thank you, Jens. Carla, I know that your decision making in terms of choosing an MBA and then choosing to do an MBA with Massey University was fairly recent, just the beginning of this year. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the process that you went through?
Yep, absolutely. And believe it or not, we actually discussed this in our group. And this was one of the things that we discussed in the beginning of the year as well. One of the things, and I think all of you guys are now going through that process and asking and which university offers what. And my reason for Massey was the other universities that I looked at had hastily during COVID put together online programs. Whereas with Massey, what I found when I spoke to people, and I've got two people in my company, three, but two in my division, that is already a year ahead of me. So I've had great mentorship and great pushing to do this. And the same thing is what we all found is that the other universities had very hastily put together their online courses because of COVID. Whereas with this one, it was already in existence. So all of those little bits and pieces that everyone else had to smooth out had already been smoothed out.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carla. So there's a question here about how many papers at a time are you studying with the online MBA? And you just do the one course at a time, and that you study for 7 weeks, where you have your Zoom sessions, you have your readings, your assessments that you need to complete, and then you move on to the second course. And that's how you complete 10 courses in 2 years. Talking about what you do during the week, I think both Jens and Carla, we would like to hear from both of you. But maybe Jens first. Can you talk to us a little bit about the study groups and that experience that students will gain from working in study groups for each course?
This is very similar to when you are at work. No one works by themselves and only has one person to be accountable to. If you look in the mirror and you slap yourself in the back for a job well done, it's probably not a good thing. So we put you into study groups and we mix them up usually at every course. So you get to meet new people for two reasons. One is that you can learn from others. Everybody has something they know better than you. And also that you can get quite good at how to organize a team and make them work towards a performance, an outcome that you need. That is a key skill for managers. Solo singers never win prizes as corporate CEOs, and we want people who can manage teams effectively in the workplace.
With that, we come to the close of the evening, and I'm going to hand it over to Jens.
Well, thank you very much for everybody to be here. And this is all about confirming to you that what you thought about doing something for yourself, taking control of your career, and doing something that will always, in every job in the future, be relevant for you is a good thing. Thank you very much for that. Bye-bye.